Your dad was an architect.
Yes.
Did that inspire you?
So direct inspiration था या indirect is a question. Ultimately, what we as designers need to understand, is that we are service providers.
The essence, the commitment that girls show. Guys, आप चिल्ला दो, बाहर जाएंगे, फूकेंगे, वापस आएंगे, कोई फर्क नहीं.
My logic for keeping only girls is probably my girls are hardworking and the boys are hardly working.
How do companies like Livespace and Homelane impact the industry today?
A professional who's been working for 25, 26 years and a new startup, there has to be some difference.
All those people who look at Pinterest images and say, ye chahiye, wo chahiye, how do you handle things like that?
I have actually got paid extra to handle the wife.
Which material do you feel is more overused today?
Sorry guys, don't kill me, but
Hello friends, welcome to Connecting the Dots. Today it's my pleasure to welcome most loved and celebrity designer, architect Girish Chatpar, a wonderful human being and a great intellectual. You will see it in the conversation. So welcome Girish sir, how are you doing?
I'm perfectly fine and rocking as usual, and in fact, thank you for having me over.
It's a pleasure always meeting you. There is so much learning that I get every time just being in the space you are.
Pleasure is all mine, ma'am.
Wonderful. So let's begin this, sir, with a journey where it began. Knowing that your dad was an architect,
Yes.
Did that inspire you?
Yes, it, how do you say, वो direct inspiration था या indirect is, a question. Because the whole thing was ever since you were, 4 or 5, the sense of, okay, this is what dad does. वो जिस दिन आपके अंदर घुस जाता है कि अच्छा ये है. I still remember my mother tells me this is के some guy would come, random truck or transport fellow would get some material and it had to go one lane away, because at that time my dad was doing my cousin's bungalow only about 2 lanes away from my house. So I would, get into the truck. The fascination was of the truck and would reach the site and all. And उन दिनों में फिर भी आप ट्रस्ट कर सकते थे. तो ट्रक वाले को मॉम बोलती थी इसको वहाँ पे छोड़ के फिर वापस इधर छोड़ के जाना. तो आज तो खैर ज़माना थोड़ा अलग है. But yeah, it started happening then, and slowly and steadily, even I don't know when I had this inclination. In fact, a good story is I had actually filled in forms for other courses also other than architecture, which was catering college. दादर हुआ करता था उस ज़माने में, आज भी है. But always you can see from my size quite a foodie that I am. So I cook even today, and that was one of the forms that I had filled other than architecture. And that dream of mine probably my daughter is pursuing because she's a chef.
Superb.
And दूसरा था automobile engineering, वो शायद मेरा बेटा कर लेगा, और फिर architecture. So these were the ones that were there,
They're very different from art, science, commerce, which were the only options considered.
Exactly, because पहले से ही क्या था कि वो एक creativity वाला जो कीड़ा बोलो या एंगल बोलो, तो वो दिमाग में पहले से ही था, ये कुछ कर लेंगे, कुछ बना लेते हैं, कुछ कर लेते हैं. एंड these all three were very close to the heart के, because somewhere you have this thing कि अगर आपको, if you love what you do, then it is a walk in the park.
Wonderful. So it is more a legacy that you're taking forward with architecture?
Yeah, you could say that, but yeah, it is again but a continuation of the same field. But ironically, me and dad never worked together. So his clients were his clients, my clients were mine. We used to share the same office and the staff and all.
Okay.
So that is how it was.
So after finishing college, did you work under some architect?
Oh, yes. I first for a month or two worked at Varli. And then, as everybody knows, my brother-in-law is architect Bharat Shetty.
Oh.
And then he came over for dinner and he's like, why are you going all the way to Varli? And his office was in Chembur only, and I also stay in Chembur. So he's like, I'm looking for stuff. Why don't you work with me? So for 4.5 years, I worked with Bharat. And then slowly, steadily, I started getting projects of my own. And then going in both the boats became...
Was he your brother-in-law before you...
Oh, yes. He was very much my brother-in-law before I started working only.
Wonderful. And then you started on your own.
Yeah, and then slowly and steadily started on my
You
own.
know, you have a very beautiful home. A
Thank you.
bungalow in Mumbai, in Chembur, is where you
Thank you.
reside,
Thank you.
and the top floor is
Yeah.
your office.
Yeah,
Can you tell us something about it?
so the terrace is half a open terrace and half is our studio. And yeah, studio is more like it. We wouldn't call it office because I have only girls in my office, like and I'm very sure your question would be why. And yeah, so it is a workplace, and my daughters work with me.
Superb. So, the value of these open spaces,
Yes.
one typically realized in COVID,
Yes.
uh, where you have the mask on for such a long time, you're living in all those chemicals.
Correct.
This relieving space that you get
Yes. Yes.
adds so much to the to life.
Oh, seriously, I mean, COVID was like a huge boon because we were in this particular bungalow or in my house. Is we had this garden outside. There was absolutely nobody around. It was just the family which was there. In fact, a lot of my friends who stay in Chembur used to drop in the evening, and then we used to sit and chill and have a beer or something or the other and enjoy. So we probably made the most out of COVID, because of the setup that we have.
Absolutely. Uh, to a great extent, Marshalls also is very women driven.
True.
So most of our staff, sales,
Yes.
admin, lot of people are the guys outnumber only because of labor. Otherwise, we are also very women dominated. And my reasons are that the essence, the commitment that girls show.
Very true.
Guys, आप चिल्ला दो, बाहर जाएंगे, फूकेंगे, वापस आएंगे,
बस
कोई
बस
फर्क नहीं.
बस वही है. माई लॉजिक फॉर कीपिंग ओनली गर्ल्स इज प्रोबेबली माई गर्ल्स आर हार्ड वर्किंग and the boys are hardly working. But no, jokes apart, the girls are more sincere, more dedicated. They take up things on a personal level.
Yes.
And like you correctly said, the guy will just probably go out, have a smoke, and then just forget about it or whatever. But here, even if you tell them something, is then it registers immediately and is taken care of. Probably at times I do feel, I don't know who's working for whom or with whom, is sometimes they all come and they gang up. We have about 6 to 7 of these girls and they come and gang. हम लोग परसों वहाँ जा रहे हैं. मतलब ठीक है, जाओ, मेरे को बता रहे हो कि डरा रहे हो. So yeah, it's okay, but they are more committed, more sincere, more hardworking. That is probably one of the reasons why I associate. And again, like me, I gel much better with women because I'm a Virgo myself and understand women much better. So could be
No,
all of
I
the
think you
other
understand
factors.
every kind of person. It's absolutely unbelievable how you connect with everyone. I think you would connect with a 4-year-old
4 years,
and an
yes.
80-year-old in the same vibe.
Correct.
How do
Very
you
true.
do that?
Uh, लोग होते हैं मैम, they're very simple, and once you bring yourself down to that level, or take yourself up to a 80-year-old's mindset, things are very easy then.
Psychologist कौन है? आप आपकी wife?
uh, Theory wise or certificate wise, she's a MA major in psychology and like first in Bombay University and all. But हाँ, मतलब ये जो हमारा field है, architecture, interior design, it will only make you excel once you understand the psychology of the client. It's only
Absolutely.
when you know that what the client needs will it be that you'll be able to cater much better to him.
For sure. And somehow you specialize in residential interiors.
Yes.
So that's absolutely psychology.
300%, ma'am, because ultimately what we as designers need to understand, I mean, is that we are service providers. आप बोलोगे मुझे इनकमिंग फ्री चाहिए और मुझे इंटरनेट नहीं चाहिए, तो हम आपको इंटरनेट नहीं देंगे, इनकमिंग फ्री देंगे. सो योर सक्सेस इज हाउ वेल यू cater to what your clients requirements and taste is. Like today I give you a room which is totally red because red is the color of the season or something like that, or like how we have mocha mousse as of now. But you can always tell me कि अरे नहीं यार, ये red देख के मेरा पहले ही दिमाग खराब होता है. I cannot tackle that, and then please don't give me that. So then it is wrong on my part to give you something like that. So a house has to be an identity of the people who are living in it.
Absolutely. So you would say that you don't create your signature, you more develop a space for the client?
Yeah, you're true probably both ways. is ऐसे मैं जितना शक्ल से सीधा साधा दिखता ऐसा हूँ नहीं, because the clients at times come up with a different idea, some are a little vague, and then it is our duty to streamline them and then get them and mold them into the style you want them to. I mean, you might have a client's son who would say, I want a pitch black room, man, it's crazy. But then the client will give you these eyes from there and things like that. So then you have to mold them, take them to the right path, which is again part of our duty to do so.
And also handling them in between themselves.
Oh yeah, don't ask about that. I'm so sorry, women, but don't get me wrong. On three instances, it has been so that I have actually got paid extra to handle the wife. Seriously, guys, don't think otherwise, because the client is like, सुन वो जो बोलती है ना करके दे, बराबर है, वो बोलती है पीले कलर का बाथरूम बना के दे, don't call me, how much money you want, I'll give you extra if you want, but don't, whatever she says, if she's happy, I'm happy.
Superb. That kind of freedom and knowing that one decision taker you have to work with is much easier
Much easier,
than
and
trying to deal
yeah,
with multiple mindsets.
no, multiple mindsets comes in play. Like, we've been fortunate enough to have done, दो घर साथ में, आजू बाजू की बिल्डिंग में, एक देवरानी का एक जेठानी का kind of a thing, and that is the most trickiest one.
No, and complete compliments to you that both the houses
they look totally
absolutely different.
Because that is exactly why, that is the thing that I was telling you, is that it is a reflection of the people who are staying in it. And वो भले relation में देवरानी जेठानी हो, वो दूसरी बात है, but two individuals are totally different. Be it, I mean, you and Karan are so different from each other.
No, we are the poles apart.
Yeah, exactly my point. So वो, it is totally different altogether. So वो automatically दिख के आ जाता है.
I think you've been working with generations and you've been working with families doing their work time and again. Every 2-3 years they come back to you for a new project.
Yeah, मतलब वो, ma'am, see, money comes, money goes. But it is the clients that you retain, or they are not even clients, they're more like family members. Like, we have this Gujarati family in which I've been working for them for 23 years now.
Wow.
Association is 23 years, and in 23 years I've done 21 jobs for them.
Superb.
So yeah, that is probably, मतलब वो आपका किया, फिर आपके भाई का किया, फिर आपके ससुर जी का किया. So within the whole family altogether.
So, so far, I mean, complete interior design industry has been very word of mouth.
True,
you do
very
a good
true.
job, you deliver value, and that is where you get your next project.
Exactly.
How do companies like LiveSpace and HomeLane impact the industry today?
They do impact, but what they need to understand is, actually it is not them, but it is the clients that need to realize that once it is a company like LiveSpace or whatever, I mean, I'm very sure I have not come across any site that they have done. They must be doing a very good job, but a professional who's been working for 25, 26 years and a new startup, there has to be some difference. I mean, again, coming to you, I mean, my association with Marshalls is from your dad's days, like,
Absolutely.
Okay, and today the reason why we come back to Marshall time and again is because of the variety, range, reliability, trust, dependability.
Yes.
कि मैंने अगर बोला है कि यार ये परसों तक कैसे भी करके लगा दो, 2 दिन के बाद उसका मुहूर्त है, so I know that Marshall will never let me down.
Superb. So, completely agree with you on this, that when we know we deliver value is when we are getting the next customer.
Yes.
That value driving is such an important part of what we do.
It is the main, crux of the whole situation. Reason being, आप ये सोचो, and even designers, my fellow friends or colleagues or contemporaries need to understand this, or even the kids, that the vendor is also as important as the client is. Because आप ये समझो, मोना मैम, अगर आपने मुझे वॉलपेपर नहीं दिया तो मैं क्या मेरी शर्ट उतार के थोड़ी दीवार पे लगाऊंगा. So it is a, how to say, it's a proper give and take, and where we are like, the moderators or the mediators between the client's wishes and desires, and to bring those dreams into reality.
So you put it so well. It makes vendors like us feel important.
You
And
see, it is, see, what you're doing is not only being a vendor, मतलब मैं जैसे मैं बोलता हूँ ना, पैसे आएंगे पैसे जाएंगे, it is the relationship you have, the dependability that we were talking about, that is what is the main thing. और अगर मुझे कोई आपसे तकलीफ नहीं है तो why would I want to look at
absolutely.
somebody else as such.
Absolutely. And I think businesses are value driven, businesses
Always.
are relationship driven.
Always.
Superb. Sir, I really find it very fascinating how you're able to complete projects in a real short span of time, because time is money. And while
Absolutely.
people do residential interiors for about a year and say it's a norm,
नहीं,
you
नहीं.
finish projects
We've
amazingly fast.
Yeah, we've been lucky or fortunate. God has been kind that we have worked this module. I mean, I guess probably it is the over the years that we have worked abroad on so many projects. Like Dubai, Singapore, London, US, Africa. We worked everywhere, मैम. ऊपर वाले ने बोला भटको, हम भी भटक रहे. तो जहाँ काम मिलता है वहाँ पहुँच जाते हैं. So the whole point is that there we learned that time is of importance. The main thing is, if you are going to deliver something within a set number of time, everybody is in a win-win situation.
Absolutely.
Be it the designer, be it the contractors. अगर उसका बिल 10 लाख रुपया बनना है तो वो 3 महीने में भी उसको 10 लाख रुपया मिलेगा और 1 साल में भी 10 लाख ही मिलना है, जस्ट बिकॉज वो ज्यादा टाइम है, ही इज नॉट गोइंग टू मेक हिज बिल टू 30 lakhs.
Absolutely.
बराबर है. एंड इफ ही स्ट्रेचेस इट टू अ ईयर, he will probably pay from his own pocket. But if he's willing to finish it with good machineries, and because of imports opening up, you have so many tools and everything now available here, which is there internationally available anywhere. So everybody has to evolve and then move along. At the same time, from the client's point of view, which is something which people don't relate to. See, when imagine if you have to do your house and you get in touch with me, and if I'm going to take 1 year, initially what happens, everybody, be it the smallest possible, like your daughter, to your husband or your in-laws or whoever, everybody has this aspiration and desire and that dream. अरे मेरा बेडरूम बनेगा ना तो अब तो मैं उसको पर्पल कलर ही बनाने वाली हूँ. तो you are actually going to deliver those dreams.
Yeah.
So the sooner you give it, the sooner they are happy, and that would, like you said, lead to more work and other clients or references as such.
Absolutely.
लेकिन आप यही चीज समझो, this is like a chewing gum or an orange. उसमें से जितना आप जूस निकालते जाओगे तो कड़वाहट आती जाएगी, and then it leads to the misunderstandings and misconceptions and then things going south. So I would rather go north than go south.
I feel that people change.
Oh,
एक साल is a
yes.
long time.
Oh, yes.
Your taste, your preferences, even the mocha mousse would change in a year.
Yeah, of course, definitely. That is one more thing. Is then what happens is, when your timeline is nearly a year, coming on to materials or vendors or whatever, वो अगला भी बोलता है यार ये तो मैंने लास्ट ईयर में हमने इंट्रोड्यूस किया था, अब तो ये हर जगह लग रहा है. मतलब अभी हमने वो 5 स्टार पान वाला किया, उसकी दुकान में भी लगा हुआ है. एंड देन मेनी टाइम्स ऑल आवर क्लाइंट्स और द भाभीज एंड ऑल कम, ये तो वो मेरी बुआ के घर पे भी किया हुआ है, अब मेरे को ये नहीं चाहिए. सो दैट लीड्स टू अ लॉट ऑफ रीवर्किंग एंड थिंग्स लाइक दैट. सो एंड दैट इज वन ऑफ द रीजंस व्हाई वी ऑलवेज कीप लुकिंग फॉर व्हाट नेक्स्ट, so that we can incorporate it immediately, and the client is also happy that I'm the very first one or the first people to kind of get this look or
Completely.
scenario.
So I know of a project you completed in 83 days,
84
including
days.
Civil,
Yes, ma'am.
everything.
Yes, ma'am. That
Civil,
was in
electrical, fall ceiling,
that
AC.
was in car, and it was how do you say about बोलते हैं ना, necessity is the mother of invention. So this was a situation where the client where he was staying had this apartment on rent, where there was a clause which he probably interest didn't look upon, and वो था कि अगर उस particular date तक he wouldn't shift, his some 40 or 50 lakhs would be forfeited for 1 more year.
Wow.
So then
Cost
we didn't
of
have
interiors.
a choice. Yeah, so we didn't have a choice but to work, and then we got into the whole proactive thing. और जैसे मैं बोलता हूँ ऊपर वाला भी साथ देता है. So this was the second floor. First floor was society office and gym and all. और जो third floor वाले थे was a investor who would stay in Dubai. So the second floor, there was no timing, no logic, and then we just pushed it and
Amazing, amazing. So
finished
83
it.
days residential
We had a
property.
90-day timeline and we finished it in
3 BHK, 4 BHK.
4 BHK.
Wow, with civil, unbelievable.
Yeah, in Khar, prime location.
So I think almost 20 years you've been doing so much work
20,
abroad.
yeah, 20, yeah, at least 20, 25 years.
25 years,
Yes,
so
yes.
much of work. I think Dubai was almost your first home,
Yeah.
and Mumbai became second home.
You could say that.
And all flight attendants knew you by face.
Yeah, because वो बीच में एक था 3 साल when I had become like a shuttlecock, and I used to be like 4 or 5 days in Dubai and 4 or 5 days here, and managing two countries or 2 different time zones altogether. So yeah, there was this that the client had taken this one particular offer that he had got from Air India Express, and my return flight used to be generally that one in the evening at about 6:30 from Dubai T2. And then after 2 times you realize that it's the same girls. There are these 2 sets of girls who come back in rotation. So from the third or the fourth time, even they would be, oh sir, you are going back home. Yeah, let's go home now. So these girls also were known to me or whatever. And then yeah, you kind of meet a person or whatever, and if you're nice and warm to somebody, so they reciprocated the same.
So I think your experience of working globally.
Yes.
You worked name the country and you worked there. So that value adds so much to the
Yes,
projects that you
yes,
do back home
yes.
here.
Because what happens is it gives you that much exposure. It brings you across to different mindsets of people. So it does not, it does this thing of, I mean, if you've seen me, ME, it just reverses the M and makes it V. So it is, I mean, it is
Beautiful.
something the kids, this generation need to learn. आप जितना सीखोगे उतना ज़्यादा you will be able to. So, coming across different cultures, different labors, or different languages for that matter. So it does help you, and that exposure of seeing new things, learning details, because I'm a very strong believer of God lies in details.
Absolutely.
So then okay, if there's a wallpaper, like for example, we are talking about Marshalls, so how do you go and end it? It cannot just go abrupt and end in between. अच्छा तो यहाँ पे इसको एक ग्रू डालनी है या एक मोल्डिंग पट्टी डालनी है या let's encase it with a metal strip or I mean something like that, although you know everything. But yeah, it makes you aware of these things, and then learning is a constant process, ma'am.
I have noticed that when you are conceptualizing, you're giving customer the entire picture in 3D.
Yes, ma'am.
बहुत कम बचता है for a person to question, or it's like seeing everything in 3D and seeing it live then.
So it's a different module that we follow in our studio. Is a lot of people give you mood boards and all, but the logic is in 1 or 2 meetings, like you said you are a psychiatrist or the psychology of your client, so we understand what their likings would be, and then we give them 2 or 3 actual rendered outputs, and we make it a point not to send it on the phone because उसमें इतना छोटा दिखता है, nobody rotates also, तो उसमें आपको कुछ भी नहीं दिखता, तो फिर वो उड़पी होटल हो जाता है, बोले नहीं और दिखाओ नहीं और क्या है. So we rather call the whole family home in my office, which you've been to, and then we have this big TV on which we show them. So what happens is we've got these instances from the client or from his wife. अच्छा ये तो अपन रूम में ही खड़े ऐसे लग रहा है कि हाँ ये पलंग ये ठीक है. So what that also does is it lets you achieve the target goal or the design much easier and faster. Okay, this is what they are liking.
To visualize.
Exactly, and because they are not the professionals and cannot realize that what the end result is going to be, because like
but your 3Ds are very real.
Thank you.
Very very real.
Thank you.
So any special softwares that you use?
No ma'am, वही है सारे, बस खाली थोड़ा प्यार ज़्यादा दिखाते हैं उसमें जैसे जनरली भी लाइफ में दिखाते हैं, बस उतना ही है, एंड बाकी ऊपर वाले के बस उतना ही.
Super.
And what happens is that is probably one of the reasons why, I mean, even if you go and see our social media, you will see that there are so many times that we actually put a reel to real, you know, kind of a
Yes.
post or a update on that, because then it is that whatever we had shown on the first day, we are nearly able to achieve about 90-95% of that same thing. रीजन में हाँ थोड़े कुछ पर्दे किसी ने यहाँ कर दिए, हमने पर्पल दिखाया था वो थोड़ा मूव पे चले गए, सो समथिंग लाइक दैट, दोस लिटिल ट्विक्स will
No, but
enhance the whole thing.
textures, materials, the
Yes.
colors, they all look so real in your
Thank you.
3Ds, and what one delivers
Thank you.
is unbelievable.
Thank
So
you.
it shows the labor of hard work that is put in.
Yeah, of course, yes, my girls really work very hard on this, and we all are totally dedicated in providing the end result to the client, what he and she has got a vision from what we have shown them on the very first day.
सर आई थिंक एक कंफर्ट जोन भी हो जाता है, यू नो, आफ्टर वी डन 4-5 प्रोजेक्ट्स
Yeah.
लोकली विद वेंडर्स, कि अभी पता है इलेक्ट्रिशियन इसको बुलाना है, फॉल सीलिंग इससे करवाना है,
जी.
बट व्हेन यू आर गोइंग टू अ डिफरेंट कंट्री,
Yes.
यू आर गोइंग टू डील विद एब्सोल्युटली न्यू पीपल,
Yeah.
यू डोंट नो हाउ दे वर्क, व्हाट दे वर्क, हाउ डू यू अडेप्ट टू दोज थिंग्स एंड क्रिएट समथिंग?
First of all, like, you know me so many years, I'm quite a comfortable or a malleable kind of a person, and I adjust very well, and I don't have any, you know.
But this is going out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. So what happens is, ma'am, पहले तो आप ये जाओ कि I am not MBA, मने बधु आवड़े छे. No, you go as if okay, you are gonna learn and understand. At the same time, if your idea, or like you said, you know, the 3D, and then from that, if your shop drawings are perfect, then I mean, even if it is in the moon or in Mars, you can definitely achieve it.
So you feel, you still believe that drawings are a must, and
300%, ma'am. That is the main essence of everything. I mean, there was a time, I mean, my dad's time and all, you know, things were very different. वो साइड वाइट पे जाके, you know, दीवार पे कुछ स्केच करके आते थे, and like, अरे गोविंदा ऐसे सेम बना दे, you know, whatever. So that time has gone, because those Govindas were also very paper oriented. Now everybody is gone very digital. So our boy will also, you know, from the side call, बोले सर वो उसका आपने PDF फाइल नहीं भेजा है, तो ये डिटेल कैसे करने का मेरे को नहीं. So the drawings have to be that good that the detail gets transcended into your design.
super. So all those people who look at Pinterest images and say ये चाहिए वो चाहिए, how do you handle things like
तो
that?
मैंने जैसे बोला ना मैम, झूठ तो खैर मैं नहीं बोलता, मैन्युपुलेशन करना पड़ता है, सॉरी फॉर दैट, बट वो कैसा ना कि थोड़ा घुमाना पड़ता है. और मैन्युपुलेशन ऐसा है कि, यू नो, वो भाभी एक मस्त फोटो भेजेगी, लेकिन वो हमको भी पता है, यू नो, एज डिजाइनर्स के, to achieve that, and once it is done, it is more of a fashion or a fad, or it is the current scenario. I mean, like, just about a week back, a client told me that she does not want the sockets in the backsplash of the kitchen. She wants it in the
Base of
the
above
unit.
cabinet.
So initially when she proposed, we never told her no. What we did is, on site, we made a small mock-up, okay? And then we took a toaster or a hairdryer from home. And then we told her, you had asked for this, try it. Then she's bending down and looking for the hole. She's trying to put it inside. And after 2 minutes, it would come out. Okay. And then because of mock-up, she realized that we are eating up from her storage space. अब वो बॉक्स कहाँ डालूंगा? So कुछ पाने के लिए कुछ खोना पड़ेगा. So that is going away from her storage space. And then after 10 minutes of seeing or experiencing, तो then she's like, नहीं आप उधर नीचे ही डाल दो, that is much better. तो वो वैसे ही है. वो फोटो में तो हर एक आदमी अच्छा दिखता है, मैं भी शाहरुख खान से बेटर दिखता हूँ, असली देखो तो मालूम पड़ेगा कि ऐसा नहीं है. So that is exactly what.
पर्सोना शाहरुख खान वाला ही है.
भाई वो तो इतने साल इंडस्ट्री में है और सबको प्यार बांटा है, तो सब प्यार बांटते हैं वापस में.
सर ये प्यार और खाना, ये दोनों चीजें यू आर नोन फॉर बांटना.
जी वो तो
आई थिंक योर मदर इज एज पैशनेट, योर वाइफ इज एज पैशनेट, यू आर एज. आप घर बुलाते हो लोगों को और खिलाते हो, ये क्या रहस्य है? वो
रहस्य नहीं, वो हमारे मम्मी जी का भंडारा है, जो सुबह है ना, हमारा दरवाजा 6 बजे खुल जाता है, और रात को 12 बजे तक खुला रहता है। और उसकी या राधिका या हमारे सबकी एक माइंड सेट है ये कि जो आता है और आके खा के जाता है तो वो उसके नसीब का है, और दूसरा वो आके अगर आपके घर पे खा के जाता है तो उसमें आपको ही बरकत होती है। ये वही सिंपल लॉजिक।
Super, but I think the love with which you feed people is absolutely unbelievable and something very unique only to your family.
थैंक यू।
So that's beautiful. Sir, Marshalls is completing 50 years
वाओ,
and we are looking at 50 forward.
you all are only 50 years young.
Yes, we are 50
Not
years
bad.
young.
And I'm
Second
so
generation.
proud that 25 23 years I've been associated. तो आधे रास्ते तो हम भी आए मैडम आपके साथ, और बाकी पूरा रास्ता भी चलेंगे।
Bilkul, bilkul. Looking forward to. So we have a few fast forward questions for you.
Please shoot.
Okay. Your favorite architect or designer?
Santiago Calatrava.
Nice. Favorite monument?
Has to be one of his only, and I really like the new Oculus that he's done in New York, and the Lausanne railway station in Switzerland.
Wow. Where trains never arrive late or leave late.
Never, ma'am.
Your favorite city to work in?
I guess Dubai.
Okay. So you're still not tired?
Oh no. Dubai is वो कहते हैं ना मैम, इट्स अ मायावी नगरी। आप हर 3 महीने के बाद में एज अ टूरिस्ट भी चले जाओ, आप बोलेंगे यार कल तक तो ये रेगिस्तान था, अब यहाँ पे 15 बिल्डिंगें आ गई है, या ये मॉल तो था ही नहीं। एंड इट्स कॉन्स्टेंटली इवॉल्विंग एंड ऑन अ मूव, यू नो।
I think I'm seeing more and more designers venture into
Oh,
Dubai
yes. Oh, yes.
now, post COVID.
Yes.
But you've been there for 25 years now.
Yes, ma'am.
Unbelievable. So, what do you find more lucrative, a residential interior project or a commercial project? Doing both together.
Yeah, मतलब मैं बोलूँगा इट्स नॉट अबाउट बीइंग lucrative and about money. It is दोनों ज़रूरी है।
Okay.
बराबर है, बिकॉज पहली बात तो आप आंख और आंख में फ़र्क नहीं कर सकते हो। दूसरा ये है कि अगर रेजिडेंशियल चल रहा है तो बी इट यू नो योर स्टाफ, बी इट यू, योर होल स्टूडियो और योर वर्कर्स एंड एवरीबडी, यू नो काइंड ऑफ वो एक मंडेन और वो रोज का हो जाता है, और फिर सडनली कोई एक आ जाता है बोले यार हमको एक ऑफिस करनी है। So then, I mean, we've been fortunate enough to do a chain or a series of offices also for a couple of brands, and then that also is global.
But it's a very different mindset, no? Because when you're doing an office interior, it's more about timelines, it's more about
Exactly.
budget, it's more about delivering fast.
Yes.
Whereas residential is very emotional.
Yes.
It's mera ghar, mera kamra, meri diwar, mera everything.
Very true. Very true.
It's again handling different mindsets.
Yeah, you have to do that. You are a juggler, and then you have to play all these roles. That is what a designer is all about, man.
Superb. So, are you a morning person or a night owl?
Both actually. मतलब मेरे को बहुत सारे दोस्तों ने can't take the name गाली भी दी है। A lot of them know कि ये तो सुबह 4-5 बजे उठ के बैठ जाएगा, और like you said कि you know आपके ऑफिस में या आपके बंगलों में ही आपका स्टूडियो है, तो वो बून भी है, और इस हिसाब से देखो तो एक डिसएडवांटेज भी है, बिकॉज इफ आई एम अप बाय चांस, आई एम अ वेरी लाइट स्लीपर, समझो ना 4-4:30 बजे उठ के तो बैठ के करना क्या, कौन सा क्रिकेट खेलना है, तो नहा धो के सीधे काम पे लग जाइए। तो अपना तो वही है, आयोडेक्स मलिए, काम पे चलिए।
ऑलवेज नहा धो के?
ऑलवेज नहा धो के, बिकॉज आई मीन यू कैन आस्क माय फ्रेंड्स, माय फैमिली, हुएवर, उनको पता है बिना नहाने न मैं नीचे उतरूंगा घर में, न मैं ऊपर ऑफिस जाऊंगा।
सुपर। Okay, do you prefer a cozy corner or an open space?
Both actually, because both of them bring a very different feel and joy to the space. A cozy corner is more you or me time or something like that. No, open space is more, Gagan Vishal kind of a thing. So there is no end to it. Balance, yes.
Okay. Which material do you feel is more overused today?
Sorry guys, don't kill me, but lures.
Yeah, and I think they just अब तो मोरबी में मैन्युफैक्चर होंगे तो
हाँ, तो वो आई थिंक इट इज अ मटेरियल दैट इज बिकॉज लाइक आवर इंडस्ट्री, लाइक फैशन इंडस्ट्री चेंजेस for seasons. Ours kind of what I have experienced from 25 years now is about 2 to 3 years is a span. I mean, you'll also correct me if I'm wrong, is the things start changing, and something like a new color or a new trend will be introduced, and then it kind of moves on. Like what you yourself know, there was a time where you had a motif which was there all
The
over
mask,
into
yeah,
the
yeah,
damask, or a floral pattern or a booty which was there everywhere. And as of now, it is slowly coming up to one wall concepts and
absolutely,
customized places, which again help designers like us to cater to what our clients needs are.
absolutely. So, your preference, okay, uh, what is that one product or that you would always want to use in your project?
One product, matlab, yes, of course, colors.
Okay.
You cannot go
So
anything.
you'll use multiple colors, mix
Oh,
and match?
multiple colors, मतलब वो नहीं है कि एक ही रूम में लाल पीला हरा भर दो, kind of a thing. But yeah, you take a particular hue and then work around it, and then whether it is, and like I said, I evolve according to what a client tells us. Like in between, we had this young couple who came up to us and they said, we want to, this was just at the start of the whole trend, we want a very Japandi or a wabi shabi vibe in our house.
Okay.
Anybody who comes into a house should feel that he or she is in Japan or Europe, or
Wow.
that it should not feel like a Indian house. And then yeah, I mean, that was again something new for us, but that was a trend that had just started, or was just there. And then now, I mean, it is there anywhere and everywhere. So yeah, we catered to those people accordingly. So that is how that color palette, or in between there was this thing for girls room, we had shabby chic, which was
Huh.
running quite a bit. So yeah, there is a little bit of fashion, a little bit of demand, plus like we said,
On your screen, I have seen everything so well organized that you can pull up any project or any catalog or any reference material
yes,
in a few seconds. It
yes.
talks about how organized you are. It also talks about how sharp you are.
जी मैडम, ये वो ओसीडी वाला प्रॉब्लम है अपने को, तो इट इज़ प्रॉब्ली वन ऑफ दोज. बट या, यू आर एब्सोल्युटली राइट एंड बैंग ऑन कि या, आई लाइक टू हैव थिंग्स इन अ प्रॉपर manner and order and whatever. तो वही वो OCD टाइप का है, to the extent you'll not believe that if we are going somewhere. When my daughter was here, she's now in Australia, so she would initially tell me that पापा हम उन लोगों को मिलने जा रहे हैं, आप वहाँ उसके लिविंग रूम में बैठोगे और फिर बोल कर, यार उसकी देख सीलिंग थोड़ी टेढ़ी है, ये वाला वॉलपेपर है ना उसका 2 डिग्री से टेढ़ा है, तो प्लीज़ डोंट डू ऑल दैट, वी आर गोइंग टू मीट दोज पीपल एंड नॉट अबाउट दिस. मतलब बट इट कम्स with the profession when you're doing this, and like not only the 25 years, but like what I told you, is to go on that sites and all. तो तब वो अक्कल नहीं थी, लेकिन अब वो एक आदत हो गई है. So you are a victim of your own success, or your own
Absolutely.
learnings as such.
So I'm sure this is where I end my fast forward round.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's been such a pleasure. It's always so much to learn from you. And while you come across as a very easygoing, fun-loving person, I know of the hard work and effort and learning, unlearning that you put
Yes.
into the work that you do.
Yes, everything
So
is a learning process, and we are rather, the young kids understand this, that every line you draw, whatever you're designing, you have to be responsible for it, because it is somebody's hard-earned money that you are going and playing with, or spending on their behalf. So it has to be justified.
super. So that's a great learning session
Thank
with
you.
architect Girish Chatpar, a
Thank you.
personal favorite always, and
Thank you.
my good brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.